How long do you spend on business development? So the answer is probably not long enough. So unless we are blessed with thousands of um, incoming leads or referrals, we all need to go out looking for business, unfortunately. And a lot of that is fun speaking to clients, it's fun or prospects, but it's not so fun searching for them in the first place. So, what can AI do to help you here? Well, the answer is a lot. So, I've come up with a few ideas. There's obviously thousands of different things. These could be agents, these could be automations, depending on your setup. And I've got a couple of demos to show you. So we could enrich your lead data. You could have a list of companies and we could scrape the internet for how many employees do they have, where are they headquartered, what industry are they in, who's the main contact, what's their email address, and I'll show you that one in a second. We could research leads, so we could scrape LinkedIn, we could scrape their YouTube channel, we could scrape reviews about that company, we could scrape their blog posts, any news about them, and create reports that suggested things that you could talk to that client about, for example. We could qualify leads. So if you're lucky enough to get leads coming in inbound on your website, rather than just letting them set up a call and they might not be the right fit for you, you could qualify them based on, I don't know, maybe you only work with a certain industry, maybe you only work with scale up businesses, not startup businesses, maybe you only work with companies over a certain revenue size. And you could qualify them and send the ones that qualify one way and the ones that unqualify somewhere else. We could find leads in the first place. So we could do Google searches to find leads. We could do scrape all the comments on my LinkedIn posts for people that seem to be interested. We could look at, if you're a recruitment agent, we could look at we could scrape Indeed for people looking for admin jobs or something, and get you that data and enhance it and run it through all the other things I've just talked about. You could stay relevant, right? So when you do get on that call, you could know what's happening in the industry. You could have an idea of what's happening in the industry to proactively reach out to people. You could be following the companies in your prospect pool. So if someone wins an award, you can congratulate them instantly without having to do all of that Googling yourself. You could create icebreakers. So you could research that actual individual, look at what they post on LinkedIn, look at their comments on Twitter, look at their actual LinkedIn profile, maybe if anything happens to them in the news, and then get AI to suggest topics that you could approach them with. And of course, the list goes on and on and on and on. So let me show you those two demos that I just talked about. Let's get this screen back. So this, for example, is the lead enricher, I think I called it on the other screen. So this is an AI automation. I have a make.com automation behind this spreadsheet. So what I've done is I've Googled creative agencies near me. I've copied and pasted that entire Google search result. And then I have chucked it into ChatGPT and I've said, please, can you create a list of companies with their websites and put it in a table? And then I've copied and pasted the table into here. Obviously, that whole process I just described, you could automate as well, which is one of the ways you could find leads. So it's then given me a list of names. I've actually just cut it down to 25, but a list of names and a list of websites. I can then run the AI, which obviously in Blue Peter style is one I did earlier. And it will give me all of this data. And it is pretty instant with this one. So I've got the LinkedIn page, I've got the address, I've got the industry, how many employees, I've got when it was founded, what it specializes in, and where it's been able to find it, and it's not always able to find it, who's the main contact, what's the name, the title, their email address, their telephone number, etc. So you can imagine if this was a massive list, I could then say, well, I don't work with companies with less than 10 employees. I don't work with companies with more than 100 employees. I don't work with companies in software development. I don't work with companies who are not based in the UK. And so you could filter this list without doing literally zero effort. Whereas in the past, you'd have to, have a horrible day drudging through stuff or pay someone to do it for you. So that is the lead enricher. The Um, Research one is once again an AI agent. So I'm running that through Relevance. And again, I have it here on my Slack. So you can imagine a world where you have a whole army of workers working for you from Slack. And again, I ran it yesterday, just in case. And you can see I ran it at 12:47 and it gave me the answer 5 minutes later. But I'm getting a hell of a lot of, let's just open these reports back um, pretty instantly. So let me kind of show you some of these. And again, we could have all of these put into one thing if we wanted to. So I have a news report here. So the company I've picked doesn't have a huge amount of news, but there's a couple of bits of news. I have a company overview. So this is telling me what the company does. You'd probably know that by this stage, but maybe not. I have this is scraping Trustpilot. So it's looking for reviews that this company has received. And it's giving me the positive reviews and negative reviews. This one actually didn't have any negative reviews, but such as life. And then it's telling me what kind of stuff I could talk to them about based on those reviews. Maybe they're brilliant at something, maybe they're rubbish at something. And of course, for your specific business, if you specialize in something or other, we could link it to, or you could link it to what makes sense for you, sort of thing. So I don't know if you're a designer, you could be visually scraping their website and suggesting improvements that you could then talk to them about that. If you're in recruitment and they're getting bad reviews for their customer service, you could talk to them about that kind of thing. We're also scraping their blog. So here it's giving kind of what do they generally talk about on their blog, what stuff could we talk to them about. They've won an award recently, so we can discuss that with them. It's even telling me here what they're not talking about. So in this case, they're not talking about sustainability. So could we talk to them about that, for example? And then it's all a bunch of examples. And also we're scraping, which one is it? This one, their LinkedIn. So we can scrape their LinkedIn, their YouTube, their Twitter, their Facebook, whatever. So here it's saying this is what they kind of post about. This is their kind of average engagement metrics. They're posting 2 to 3 times a week. These are the hashtags they like. Here's their best posts, and here's a link to that post. And then here's stuff that we could potentially engage with them about. So you can imagine if this was kind of tailored to your specific world, it could dramatically reduce how much time you're having to do all of this stuff. And like I say, you could even take all of these reports and summarize them into one single report. So let's get rid of that. So